So yeah, like in my opinion, it doesn't really matter who you are, what status you've got, how no matter how high your position may be in your workplace or your firm or whatever it is. I think as long as you treat people with respect and kindness and polite, as long as you're polite and respectful and kind with people, generally people will treat you the same way, if you see what I mean. Most people will. You can't account for all people, of course, because you always get people that, regardless of how you treat them, they'll still treat you however they feel they can treat you, if you see what I mean.
Whatever they know.
Whatever they know.
Sometimes, if you sort of mean.
But generally speaking, most people, as long as you approach them, deal with people with, just be polite, be respectful, be kind, be, have manners, people will respect you, people will deal with you in a similar way, they will kind of reciprocate your energy, so it's, yeah.
So I'm always positive.
No one's, yeah.
I like to be positive thinking. It's no good being negative, I don't think, because it goes against you. It's like, if you're a businessman, if I owned a business,
yeah,
you have got to be positive every day, or otherwise it would go downhill.
Yeah.
I think, if you start being negative about it, or in any way, you've really got to be as positive as you can. The more positive you are, I feel, the more successful that business is going to be. You've got to think about the future.
Yeah.
You've got to sort of like, the business might make mistakes sometimes, and have failures, but you've got to sort of account that and learn from it. Just like you're, as you are as a person in a kind of way, we're all kind of learning in life, I feel. Even myself, I can't wait, like I say, I can't wait to learn more in life, even today I learned a little bit, because I was studying about the future and the past a little bit, like looking at different quotes and things, and learning by what it said, like one, for instance, said that always remember in the future you're going to know more than you do now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you sort of mean, that's quite a good one when you think about it, So whatever you know now, in a month's time you're going to even know more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So always remember that one. And as I said, it's all about understanding life, I feel, because I'm starting to understand it more and more. And I can't wait to, I've got a long way to go, because I feel like you just can't stop learning life, And I've even learning how to become kinder, better, I'm hoping to become better than I am today, do you know what I mean? And I just feel like that, we're talking about business today really though.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, the business world is kind of like good and bad.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's got...
Well, it's necessary, but as we all know, it's a very...
I don't know whether it's necessary, I don't know how it evolved even, if you saw me, who started running the first business.
Well, I think essentially everything essentially started from the barter system when you really think about it.
Yes.
Because once upon a time there was no money, there was no, don't get me wrong, people had silver coins and gold and all these type of things at one point as well. But at one point prior to all that type of stuff, it was literally, I grow this and I've got these crops and this livestock and this and you've got that. So I'll give you a pound of my wheat if you give me a pound of your sugar. You grow, you've got a farm full of sugar beet, I'm growing wheat and all sorts of other things, grains and all sorts of shit. I'll give you a pound of that for a pound of your, and that's how people used to survive. People say, okay, I've got this and I know you need some and I need some of what you've got. So how do we come to some kind of even exchange? And eventually obviously that's money was birthed from that essentially, Well, much later on. But
every element really, like for instance silver and gold has got a different value today. They fluctuate, don't they? They go up and down, like next year gold might go up in price. And sand's got a price too.
Well, I was going to say, if people have right now, if there's people out there that can afford it, silver and gold are going to appreciate very quickly. Well, not quickly, but they will appreciate over the next few years in particular. especially where money starting to go towards more of a digital. Now, as we're speaking about businesses, where money is starting to go more digital. And even I think yesterday or today they already started talking about introducing the digital euro, if you see what I mean, in Europe, if you see what I mean, France and all the other European countries that use the euro as their currency. They're talking about introducing the digital version of that. So we're already seeing this, if you see what money's becoming less and less frequent, and less required, if you see what I mean. Most people today use their card for most transactions. They pay with their card for most transactions, or their phone, or some people even use their smartwatch, you know what I mean. And where it's heading to more of a digital thing, you know what I mean. It's, you know, less and less money is going to be required, so it's, you know.
But you know, like, it's not so intelligent when the electric goes though, and you know, it's not so smartphones when they're not, when you know, when you can't run them on, you know, because there's no electric, you see. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, we're kind of like be stuck, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
You know, if we go into that world and the power goes off.
Yeah.
It would put everyone into panic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, even if the electric goes for 5 hours, it kind of like, people can't get on, can they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
But most business today, like we've spoken about in the past actually a couple of times, is most transactions today take place online. Most people buy, even today, like people do their shopping online, like their food shopping even, you know, people getting their food shopping online and getting it delivered to their front door. All they got to do is, you know,
Press the button.
open the door for the bloke to come in and collect the bags and go inside and put it away. It's, you know, we live in a, you know, everything is, you know, very, as we always talk about too, the internet age, you know, we live in the internet age, we live in the, you know, electric age, you know. And everything, you know, like I know we've talked about it before as well, but like imagine if, like you said, even if the internet and the electric was to go down worldwide, it's not that could happen, because it couldn't happen on a global scale, if you see what I mean.
Possible though, it is possible, of course it is.
Well, I think it's possible, but there's a higher likelihood of it going off, you know, in countries, if you see what I mean, you know.
Say there was a magnetic storm, sunstorm or something that put it all out.
Well, that's true.
That's true. Or something.
Something
I don't know.
like
Do you know what I mean? I'm just sort of saying.
That's a good example.
I think everything's possible in a kind of way, you know, because I think everything comes to an end in a kind of way in the end. You know,
but imagine even if the internet and the electric crashed just for 24 hours on a global scale. Imagine how much havoc and chaos that would wreak. Yeah. If you see what I mean.
I think it's quite difficult to run a business without electric, or operate a factory, if you sort of mean, you know, or whatever, you know. So I think a lot of people today rely on electric big time, you know. We all do. You know, I must admit, I do love it. I love the electric world. Yeah. You know, I think it's a much more comfortable world than it used to be. Without it, if you see what I mean, it keeps us warmer. You know, it helps businesses in a big way. You know, like make things, you know, like clothing 100 times quicker than they used to. Yeah. You know, and people don't have to do the hard work anymore. Yeah. You know, I don't know. You know, it's. You know, that's what I don't like about it. Though. You know, in this world, like I said previously when we were talking about money, the maximum and a minimum wage. Where's the maximum wage? You know, where like some companies and some company men, they're really successful. They got real loads of money, and they open up other companies. You know, and make more money. Then they open up another company and make more money. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, come on, let's, you know, do you know what I mean? You know, let's, you know, because we don't like greed, do we? You know, let's stop it. You know? Let's stop this. You know, because you only need, you know, be honest with you, I'm trying to get rid of my things. I don't want them. Do you know what I mean? You know, I feel like the more things I'm getting rid of in life and giving away, the richer I'm becoming. Yeah. You know, and I feel like you've got to have that kind of attitude in life. You know, you don't need all these things in life. You know, or you don't need all this land or anything. You know, because you're not going to be here for long. Goodness sake, you know, like I said, we're, you know, in another 100 years' time, we'll be all vanished. Yeah. You know, and other people will be trying to make money or something then, you know, every day, you know, a new generation completely, you know, we're all wiped out, you know, we're all gone. Do you know what I mean? the universe somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I find it quite strange, you know. Here we are on planet Earth, and everyone's, you know, because it is a business world, you know, and it's even the countries are sort of competing.
Even countries
with
they're
competing with each other.
Well, even if you look at America, let's say for example, mate, America is a prime example of a country being a corporation.
Yeah.
It is literally a corporation.
I believe that.
If you see what I mean.
That's a big company.
And a lot of it, obviously, as we know, because obviously we live in a very capitalistic society, where capitalism rules, the power of the dollar, of the pound, of the euro rules. If you see what I mean, you know, money talks. You know, as we all know, there's that old saying of you know, money makes the world go round, as they say. Yeah. So. Yeah. I think.
Dude, can you imagine, like, if the world wasn't, if it didn't have any metal in it, for instance, you know what I mean, and we didn't make coins, or just money wasn't invented, I don't know, do you know what I mean? We used to survive without it, that's the thing, you know, and I know that we've evolved.
Yeah.
You know, we've evolved century after century, whatever, you know, slowly into what we've got today, you know, into the modern electric world we're living in today, full of amazing inventions, you know, like I said, you know, sometimes when they invent things, they kind of been working on these for hundreds of years.
Oh yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
You know, even glass, for instance, you know, what can they do with glass today? They can colour it, they can do all kinds of things with glass.
Yeah.
They kind of understand it as well, you know, today, you know, they can make it bulletproof.
Yeah, true.
You know, and I don't know, do you know what I mean? They kind of, you know, they study materials, and they come up with more materials, like plastic, that's a new material, it's man-made, you know, it's not natural, you know, it's like putting two materials together to make another one.
Yeah.
You know, it's man-made. And so we've got plastic everywhere today, and it's in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, it's a problem.
Yeah, big problem.
Well, it's a big problem. We're still sort of like buying plastic bottles and God knows what in the shops, you know.
Oh yeah, every day.
You know?
Every day.
And you think, what is, you know, are they doing it? You know, I think they are actually. You know, they are trying to work on it. You know, they're when they get rid of rubbish, they sort of spend millions on it now to sort it out. Now,
to try and recycle.
Exactly, you know, but still, a lot of it ends up in the ocean, doesn't it? You know, a lot of people throw their bottles away, thinking, oh well, you know, they don't realise, you know, this is nature here. Don't ruin it, because you know we are nature. You know, everything's nature. You know, keep tidy. You know, because I personally always kept tidy. You know, pick up my rubbish. You know, even though I don't really agree with the town, cities, whatever, or anything, but I'm quite a tidy person. You know, I'm respectful with, you know, because I don't like leaving plastic around for hedgehogs to climb in and things. Do you know what I mean? Or do you know what I mean? You just got to, or people to tread on. Do you know what I mean? You got to respect.
I just feel that if you're a respectful person in general, that there's just certain things you just don't do. If you see what I mean. It's like even me, like if I was to litter, I feel bad, mate.
Yeah, well, some people don't, do they?
You get what I mean? Like if I was to drop, like it's funny because like I'm so used to not littering, like you said, like personally. But if I was to litter, in some way, had to, you have like a guilty conscience about it. You know what I mean? It might sound strange to some people, but
talking about litter.
Because I just think if you're the type of person that's trying to like conduct yourself in a certain way and do certain things, like, you know, littering, something as simple as littering is something that you should be able to, you know, to control yourself from not doing, if you see what I mean. Like, you know, you can always find a garbage can or a rubbish bin somewhere, if you see what I mean. You know?
As I say, some people are just,
you know, but when you haven't got any, I find, you know, like if you've got morals and values and principles and shit, like, you know, you tend to conduct yourself in a certain way, you know, and there's just certain things you don't do. There's just certain things that if you want to do it or whatever, like it just doesn't feel right within your spirit. Like you feel uncomfortable.
I think some people don't know better. Do you know what I mean? They're just sort of like not taught by their parents, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just let go, and they think they don't even know they're doing wrong. Some people, even, do you know what I mean? Just throwing a litter. But even litter itself, that's a big business in this world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, like
recycling, mate.
Well, I think they import some of it, and
Yeah.
To, I don't know, do you know what I mean, to other countries, some of our rubbish.
Well, I was going to say they actually pay they actually pay other countries to take our recycling. Like China's a prime example. China buys a large majority of people's recycling and stuff, because all that stuff that gets recycled gets recycled. You get what I'm saying? They use it and recreate new materials and sell it back to people, and then when they discard it, they have to then pay them to get rid of it again.
So, you know,
isn't it genius? Well, that's a genius business plan if you really think about it. Yeah, you're literally providing a large majority of products to the world because your country produces and provides a lot of stuff. If you see what I mean, in terms of technology and all sorts of stuff. Plastic, games and toys and you name it. So you're essentially selling all these items to these different countries and corporations and people. And then once they finish using it and they discard it and have to get rid of it, now the country now has to pay those countries to take it back. Here you go, take all this recycling because we need to get rid of it. We'll pay you to take it back to get rid of it, and then they'll take it, recycle it, make something new with it, and then sell it back to them. And the cycle continues. It's a good business plan, isn't it? Really, Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong, can you? Really?
So I've lived quite a few decades now, and I mean when I was about 10 years old, the cars used to look quite. I mean, you've seen the 60s films.
Oh yeah.
And then the next decade, they look a bit more modern. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've all been replaced. But you might see the other one still. Do you know what I mean? And then 10 years later, they've been replaced with completely more modern cars. Do you know what I mean? The next decade. Then computers started getting out. Yeah. In the 90s, they started designing cars now. You know what I mean? And the computers, sort of like we're talking about artificial intelligence. They're designing the cars better rather than humans designing them now. So they're even getting more advanced now. Do you know what I mean? It's quite incredible how we're advancing business-wise in technology together. And I don't know what 10 years time what's going to look like. If you see what I mean, that's what you've got to think about.
Oh yeah, of course, the evolution.
All these cars out here, they're going to look a bit like antiques, I expect. In 10 years time, they're going to be sort of all high energy or something. Not run by petrol anymore.
Yeah.
And quiet. And maybe look like spaceships or something. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But I can just see the changes over the decades. And sometimes even today. I might go out and I might see a really old banger on the car. That's come out.
20 years old.
No, made in 1930s.
Like a real old school. Yeah. I've seen a few.
Yeah,
I have
exactly,
seen a few.
There's some people that kind of collect those cars.
I've seen the bloke one time. He had an MG. It was an MG. I think it was either 50s or 60s, if you see what I mean. Real old car, but he, like you said, he'd done it all up. It had all been done up, and it was,
Yeah,
real old school.
My old boss had a Bentley, and it was 1940s or something.
Wow. Yeah.
But there's still all these old cars around.
Yeah.
You can see how they were. They're not as good as they
are. The trouble
today.
is, a lot of times today they can't get the parts for them anymore, or
Well, I don't think they're allowed on the motorway because they're too dangerous. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure about that one. Do you know what I mean? But they've got to be. I don't know. Like I said, they just sort of got more modern, haven't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not just cars; it's everything in the car. Like, even washing machines.
Yeah.
If you look at the first washing machines, they look pretty funny. You'd laugh at them, But now they're getting more computerized, and they look pretty, and they're all programmed. If you know what I mean. And you just press one button, and it's like. It's good, but I mean, like, I remember when my nan did the washing, a long time ago, and it used to take her all day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it used to be a different sort of story back then, doing the washing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, like I say, electric is made business for people, really, in a lot of ways,
Yeah. Well, you can think about it, they rely on all the electric to print all the paper.
Yeah.
To do all that stuff, and that's how they use all these machines and all this type of different machinery and stuff that requires electric in order to print it and to design it and
then somebody invented the kettle. Do you know what I mean? And everyone almost that I know has got a kettle now.
Yeah.
To warm up and make their cup of tea.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to make it. I remember my nan used to sort of do it on the stove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put a kettle on it. It used to whistle.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But now we've got electric kettles. You know, even electric kettles is a big business for a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
If you sort of mean. I mean, we're all in kind of different business. You know, like some people are in acting business.
Yeah, true.
On TV.
Yeah.
And sort of going to work and doing some sort of serial, maybe, you know, acting a part in a soap opera or whatever, you know, or doing a sketch show for a comedy or something. Do you know what I mean? Or making a film, or being in a film, you know.
So many different industries, isn't there?
So
many different business avenues and ventures that you could.
You've got the medical side.
Explore. Yeah.
Medical side.
Well, I was going to say the medical side is one of the biggest industries in.
I reckon it's quarter, don't you?
Huh?
I reckon it's quarter. Quarter percent of business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What you mean out of a whole?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I see, like a quarter out.
Like
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Say there's just 1/3.
Say there's
1/3 in the entertainment world. You know, and some people are in the sport world. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna say the sports world and the pharmaceutical world, the medicine world, like you said.
Travelling world.
Well, they've got nothing on the. Yeah, that's a big industry too. But the pharmaceutical industry, mate, is you know.
You've got the food world, haven't you? You know,
Yeah.
where people are making food and getting people getting food into the markets and that. You know what I mean? You know, there's kind of like different businesses out there in a kind of way, isn't there? You know?
Supply and
building
demand.
business, that's a different one, you know. The building business where, you know, like putting scaffolding up all day and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite a difficult job. You
Mm.
know, and I'd say there's some jobs that are easy.
Yeah.
And some jobs are quite very physical.
Yeah.
Some jobs that you don't, you know, you just have to use one finger, if you know what I mean. Or
Yeah.
some jobs you can even sleep.
Yeah.
You know, they sleep on the job and maybe wake up just to sort of like, you know, because I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Somebody's woken up and they need help. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, we live. The whole world is run by business, mate. Everything is transactional. Like even relationships. You know, someone once said to me, "When you're no longer useful to anyone, that's when you're truly useless." And it gave me a different perspective on being able to be used by people, because when you no longer provide anything for anyone in any way, shape or form, you're not useful or beneficial to anyone. You get what I'm saying?
You're talking about me?
No, not saying not you. Of course I'm not talking about you. No, I'm speaking.
Because I'm not providing for anyone anymore.
No, I'm speaking generally. I'm speaking generally speaking. When you're no longer useful to anyone, people don't want to be around you. People don't really want to know you. Because regardless of whether or not people like it, even friendships, even if it might just be a simple friendship based on, you know, just two mates, they just got love for each other. If you see what I mean, it's still transactional. If you see what I mean, it's still. You get what I'm saying? It's still, you know, we both, we look out for each other. We help each other. You know, if you need something, I help you out, and vice versa. And
I just think we're on me and you personally.
So it's still transactional. You get what I'm saying? Though everything is still transactional, because even in friendships, I might ask you for a favour sometimes, and same for you. You might ask me for a favour sometimes. If you see what I mean. So it's still transactional, not intentional. Not with the friendship isn't based upon it being transactional. It's a genuine friendship, but at the end of the day, there's still a transaction that does still take place to a degree within any relationship.
Out of our friendship, I think we both benefited out of it a lot. We've both learned a lot, and we've gone
from each other
every month.
Yes,
that's gone by.
Yeah.
Where I have had some friends that really sort of like. I mean, I did share a quote actually not long ago on Facebook. It said that about good friends. being helpful to your future, positive, and they want you to do good
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
future. Where bad friends nag on about the past or something. You know, it's something that I can't remember the quote, but it's something like that.
Well, the reality is that people either add to your life positively, or they add to your life negatively.
Yeah.
And that is the reality of so when you choose, especially as you get older and you become a mature adult, and you know you got responsibilities and priorities and this type of things. As you get older, you realize that you don't need a lot of friends. You just need good friends.
Not too many friends that ruin it.
Yeah, and like for me, like my friends, obviously, you know, my wife is even though that's my wife, she's my friend, you know, yeah, etc. But like, I can count on one hand how many people I can actually, you know, I can actually call a real friend, someone that you can rely on, and vice versa. You know, they have to be able to rely on you too. Like we always say, it doesn't only go one way. You know, it's reciprocal. But I can count on one how many people I can, you know, and you obviously you're included in those numbers, if you see what I mean. You know, the amount of people that I can, on one hand, that I can really say that I could pick up the phone tomorrow if I need a favour or I need help with something. You know, something's gone wrong for some you know, whatever reason, something, God forbid, something's happened and I need a hand with something, or you know, some kind of favour. I know those people will, you know, I can rely upon them. And the same thing, and it goes the other way too. If something happens in their life, you know, they can rely on me, whether it be financially or emotionally or you know, just whatever support, or you know, moral support or whatever.
I think you can. Everyone can only have a handle, a handful of people. If you sort of mean, I only have 5 friends.
Well, how would
at the most, if you sort of mean.
How I look at it, right, mate, a good analogy for it, right, how I like to look at it is the same way you want people to pour into your cup, if you get what I'm saying. The same way you want people to pour into your cup, you have to pour into people's cup as well, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You have to, you know, you can't just, okay, let's say you've got a friend, and this person's a really nice person, they're a good person, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not discounting from the fact that they might be a good person or whatever, they might be a good person. But if it's a friendship where all the time this person is continuously asking you for money, week in, week out.
Yeah.
This person is coming to you asking you for money week in, week out. And you've known each other for years now, and every time you see this person every week, they ask you for money. But during this relationship, you've never asked this person for anything. Do you get what I'm saying? It gets to a point where a certain amount of resentment might start to build up. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't ever ask you for anything. You know what I mean? I take care of my responsibilities and whatever else.
Do
You
you
get
have
what I'm saying?
sometimes?
No, I'm not saying us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying us.
Oh, yeah.
If you see what I mean. Again, speaking generally speaking. I'm not talking about in our friendship. If you see what I mean. But if that's what I'm saying, I'm just being hypothetical. If you've got a relationship where it's just one-sided,
Yeah.
where someone is completely taking from the person all the time and never ever giving back, never saying, oh mate, thank you for all these times that you've helped me out, mate, here's a blessing. You know what I mean? I've